Ah.
That's crazy.
Right in front of the store.
Hey, but you're keeping it on the truck, right?
Guys, let's undo these chains.
No.
We are not the only ones celebrating 20 years of rage. There's this guy called WhistlinDiesel. Instead of just, making a content about the entire thing, he took it one step further by making his own Killdozer. Why don't we check him out? And the reason I wanted to check it out is because first one was made by Popo Medic and now it's WhistlinDiesel. And basically this one is an update, right? Because everything Popo Medic said was the optics afterwards. But now with WhistlinDiesel, what the world thinks 20 years after the carnage.
After 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon in the town of Granby.
This is when we first arrived on
There we
scene.
go.
It looked like officers were firing some pretty heavy arms at him.
The sheriff in Granby says that Marvin Heemeyer was behind the wheel during a 90-minute rampage in that fortified bulldozer.
They do not know what reason is. Reason to them is doing it their way.
This man owned a business next to the concrete company, that he had a long-standing beef with a concrete company in Granby.
See? It's only like, 5 or 10 years afterwards that people are actually, digging through the rubble of what exactly pushed this man to do this whole entire thing.
This is a dispute that dates back 3 years ago. Damage, we're told, could be in the millions. They'll have a better assessment of that later on today.
You had to take me on en masse. Well, I'm going to take you on by myself.
Yep. That's basically the power of a man that's been pushed too far.
It's almost been 20 years since the Killdozer incident in Granby, Colorado. And today we are in Granby, and we're going to be talking to the people that Marvin Heemeyer had the most beef with. I've looked everywhere on the internet, and there's not many examples of first-hand interviews of people that have dealt with Marvin. We're going to go straight to the beef, and we're going to figure out what went wrong here. I know from first-hand experience how someone could have problems with a town and feel like they were getting walked all over.
Yeah, they literally piled up on him after the entire thing. They didn't like him because he was an outsider. He fell in love with the place. He was just trying to make a living. And they piled up on him. And everyone piled on him. City Hall, those families. That hit piece from that newspaper.
In about an hour, my personal Komatsu D355A, which is the same Bulldozer that plowed this town down, is going to be coming through here on a trailer.
Cody, this is 14 hours out of the way. This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to make a statement. He's not trying to be practical.
I'm kind of nervous actually because I feel like maybe it's something they don't want to talk about.
True. What if they love it or they hate it?
Sometimes you get this cult effect of a small town where no one comes in or out for 100 years. They can sometimes be really standoffish and rude and want to piss people off for fun.
Well, it's one of the downsides of living in a small town. Everything's pretty tight or close-knit. Especially with, when we have ruling or influential families like that controls the majority of the town.
Handle for 12 seconds, start again. It's super cold out. It's 5 degrees. There's a thing in the gas station that says, "It happened here in Granby." you get many people buying this book? Oh yeah. Is this
I mean, the thing is, remember that Titanic meme? How much time do you need before a tragedy becomes a meme, or before a tragedy you can make light of a tragedy? Apparently for them it's 20 years?
A tourist destination for that now?
Yeah, not hugely, but so maybe a couple of them a month, 2.
Were you guys here when that happened?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, he was kind of behind our building.
Is everybody pretty chill about it? Or is it a sensitive topic for some people?
It's a little bit sensitive. There's a thing that happens when a person dies that they gain all the virtues. You can't talk ill of the dead.
Right.
So everyone's, he was the best guy.
I know that my mom used to wait on him at the El Monte restaurant.
Well, that's good that they're not, speaking ill of the dead. But they really didn't like him. I mean, public opinion literally turned against him after that.
Right. She said that he seemed like a decent guy.
Oh, okay.
He was a decent person.
Here when it happened.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's like a little tourist destination now.
Yeah.
He was until the entire town piled up on him.
Oh. There's a couple places I want to stop. There's one called Sky High News. It's the news station. They publish a little ad for Marvin's muffler shop. They're still here, but it's crazy that he bulldozed their building. Yeah. There are stories from both sides, and it's really hard to know. But we're going to get to the bottom of it. This is WD reporting. So if you guys don't know about Killdozer, it's a very long story. But long story short, this guy named Marvin Heemeyer lived in Granby, Colorado. Marvin had a muffler shop in town. He moved from another state.
Great building wasn't the best location, but it was a good building.
Did a great job. There's a lot of people that speak highly of him. And something was wrong with the sewage on the site. The town kept like fining him more and more. And so he got into a lawsuit with the town and lost.
Although they probably cost me a half.
See, here's the thing, right? That lawsuit. First of all, he was willing to play ball. Second, he actually participated in the lawsuit because he believed that, you know what, it might work. All he needed was an easement, and perhaps even he could sell. He may even sell. I mean, he knows. I mean, he's a smart man. He's definitely pragmatic. He's definitely practical. He knows that. He knows that, you know what, maybe playing hardball with his people isn't a good idea. So he's willing to sell. He's willing to settle, but they didn't let him. They actually boxed off every escape or every avenue for him to simply just, you know, walk away from it all.
$1 million or more. I know it's been more.
And he said that people would like chuckle as he walked out of the courtroom and stuff.
The town council, I'd pass.
So
them in
this
the
was just
post
basically a
office.
small town piling on an outsider. The influential families, the Thompsons, I forgot the name of that other, the first one family he had beef with. They were simply piling on against the outsider.
And they'd snicker.
And he was
at me
alone.
after they knew I lost.
There was a lot of drama and beef here.
These people have figured out a pretty good way, being a small community, how to get away with doing things wrong and doing it legally.
There's so many details in between here. I'll do the best I can to like fill everybody in as we're going through all this. But Marvin felt like he was wronged by the town and ended up buying a giant bulldozer just like the one we just bought.
I don't believe that any of the Komatsu D355s were as in good a shape as this one was.
Parked it in his muffler shop and he spent like a year armoring this bulldozer. And then one day he just greased up the side so nobody can climb up on top of it. And he drove it through his muffler shop and plowed over half of this town. That was June 4th, 2004.
He had specific
so the 20th
targets.
anniversary is actually coming up. The muffler shop is not here anymore. He bulldozed part of it and then they bulldozed the rest of it. I have maps here of the exact route, start to finish, that the Killdozer took. From
He had
Marvin's
specific
muffler shop
targets.
all the way to the end where it fell in the hardware store basement and he couldn't get out. We're gonna follow that route. So the first location, his muffler shop. Killdozer was built right up here. They're saying that this was the building.
It's a trash company.
Yeah, there's tons of concrete trucks lined up right there across from it. This was right where Marvin's shop was.
This is cool.
This is the concrete plant that wronged him.
Yes.
Supposedly.
There we
You
go.
could call it revenge. I don't
The
know.
Doe Chefs and the
I
Thompsons.
don't doubt that there is.
Okay.
What the hell? We should stop here and talk to them.
Yes.
Who exactly are they going to talk to?
I had a quick question. Is this the shop where Killdozer's built?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He actually found it.
That little shop right there. It's where those 4 dumpsters are if you walk out.
Really?
It's that shop
Okay.
right there.
Okay, interesting. All right, appreciate your help, man.
No problem.
I asked if that was a shop where the Killdozer were built, but he says that it was this building right here, which makes a lot more sense.
Oh.
There we
Does it say
go.
mufflers on the side? It does.
It still has the S. Mufflers.
It's for mufflers. That's it. That's it. Look.
Oh, no
That was it.
way. Now we gotta walk around the
There we go. It
outside.
still has the S.
How did he get it out? That's the shop. You can't fit that dozer through there.
You
He
see
went
on the
through
front
it.
side of the building, and it has the 3 bay doors that we just drove past.
Right. Let's talk to him. I want to get in there.
Sorry to bother you. Is that part of this business here?
How I understand it is, it was leased by that guy back in the day.
By
And
that
once it all
guy.
went down,
Okay,
it
they
was
don't
just
even
kind of
want to
rolled
mention his
into the
name.
business.
We were really curious if there's any way to look at it.
I'd really rather not. That's a work area for
Yeah.
our guys. You can
Okay.
take some pictures from the outside. but-
Okay, no problem. Appreciate it, man.
Not allowed in.
Let's come back at me.
Yeah, why would they let him in?
Oh my gosh. Dude, he totally
Well,
built it in there.
I think they remodeled it, guys. Everything in
Well,
front
they
of us
had
was
to.
a
It's like
concrete
it's been
plant.
20
You see that
years.
tower? That's all part of the concrete plant. Those are the people that he felt like really wronged him. So
Yeah.
Cody Dochef was the owner of this concrete plant, and they named it Cody's Way. I would be curious if they changed it to Cody's Way after
See,
the incident.
you
This is the
in
concrete
small
plant.
towns, villages, and municipalities like that, you know that that's the ruling family if they named streets after you.
Really had beef with the owner, Cody Dochef.
Come to find out his name was Cody Dochev. He came back there and introduced himself to me about the rudest, most arrogant person.
I'm gonna see if I can talk to him. I'm
He
not
just
sure where
wanted
they
to
are
play.
nowadays,
He
if
was
they're still
open to
here.
playing
Where's the
ball,
office?
you
It says
guys.
office.
Hopefully it's
But I
open.
guess the Dochefs felt like, you know what, this was their town. That was Marvin complaining, Heemeyer complaining that, you know what, he was rude, he was condescending, he was blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I guess the Dochefs literally felt like this was their town. Nope, no answer. It's the middle of the day, man. It's a work day.
It's too cold for
No one's going to be
coffee, so
inside.
that makes sense.
Yeah, that checks.
Let's come back on June 4th. So he came out of the muffler shop, he demolished that whole concrete patch, and so this is where everybody started panicking. They called the cops, and then he went literally out onto the main street.
Hopefully, the community will learn something from this.
Yeah.
This is the main stretch of Granby right here. So his muffler shop is up there.
And he was just driving on this road.
So he plowed through that muffler shop, and then he came out onto this main stretch and just headed for downtown. We're gonna pull in here. There's a lot going on right here. I'm really curious if there's any...
Oh, it's now an Ace Hardware store.
Do you guys have any questions about Killdozer?
No, we don't.
The big armored bulldozer?
We have
Really?
books.
Oh, they carry the book here too.
Get the book.
He must have been too young, man.
Yep.
He looks like he's like, what, 18, 19? He wasn't born yet.
I just feel weird saying it. It's like going to New York and saying, you heard about He went down this street, cut left, and he plowed over this. And I thought,
Yeah.
company?
See,
That's a
he was
brand new
so
building.
careful that he didn't even want to say the actual word, or didn't, because
And then he turned left up here. So we're gonna turn left. We're on
I guess there's a
Jackson now.
distinction
The
between
City Hall
casualties
was right here.
and
He
making
completely
jokes of, you know, where
demolished it.
an
He was
event where
suing
people
them for,
actually
like,
died is a bad
discrimination or
thing.
whatever of like with them.
But like I said, going
This
back
was
to
the
that
City Hall.
question, how long before you can make light of a tragedy?
Completely destroyed that. They rebuilt the town hall right over the street, right in the middle.
Yep.
So they got a brand new town hall.
Yeah.
Right there.
I'm gonna walk in there and I'm gonna see if anybody wants to talk. I'll be back.
I was curious if you guys get many questions about Killdozer.
We don't praise.
They wouldn't.
He could have killed them.
He could have.
Were you here when that happened?
I was the one that took the call from the sheriff's department and said to evacuate.
Wow.
Oh, okay. So we're getting first-hand accounts now.
Really? Yeah.
So we
Right.
had plenty of time to get
Right.
out.
Right. Yeah, that's really interesting.
Well,
We're just
thankfully, no
traveling
one was
through it.
there.
I was curious about it.
And
ever since then. If
here's the
it's,
thing,
like, a
right?
big deal.
He had gun ports all over the whole thing. So if he wanted to kill people, he could have, but he didn't. He simply went after infrastructure. He was there to make a statement. He wasn't there to kill people.
Or if it was like a sensitive topic, you know, like.
It's a sensitive topic for the ones that work here and some of the town members. There's a better way to resolve.
Right. Right. Right.
And at
Right.
the end of the day, we lost a member of our community.
Right.
The community came together. This is a beautiful building. So really, he did us all a favor.
Thanks for talking about it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, again, not a very high opinion of him. See, they were simply being polite. You know what? Because again, they're talking to an outsider. WhistlinDiesel is an outsider to this town. Whereas I bet you they wouldn't, you know, describe Heemeyer under very polite terms when they talk about him in private. Because I guess that was the first time that, you know what, someone actually challenged the order in their town, and that was also the first time that, you know, someone made them actually feel vulnerable, because an armored tank going downtown wasn't something they expected. So I guess at a certain point, everyone, you know what, Heemeyer was right. Everyone learned the lesson that, you know what, that people could still get you, that, you know, you're not untouchable.
So I went in there and they were really sweet. She's like, I was the one that took the sheriff's call.
See, they're being polite when talking to outsiders.
She was in there. And then she was like, also, he kind of did us a favor by cleaning out all the crap buildings because they built a new nice library there and everything. And I don't know if that's a jab, like, oh, he did us a favor.
Yeah, see,
a
jab. Even he felt it. Even WhistlinDiesel felt that the whole thing against everyone was, that was a jab against him. He even felt it.
Came down the street from the town hall. This is a small town, so it's easy for him to do a lot of damage.
Right.
Went across this corner in between this light post and this bank, and it looked almost identical. He plowed the whole side of that off.
It's a bank.
On Main Street here and went all the way down this road quite a ways. This thing moved like 4 mile an hour, keep in mind. So like the whole town just has time to like watch it. So we're gonna go down here to Sky High News. They're still here, and I bet that we could
So
get
it was
some
like
sort of a story on this.
So for the rest of the town, it would have been like, you know, watching an entire forest fire.
Yep.
No way.
You were relatively safe if you can run.
So this is the Sky High News building that he completely destroyed, and then there's footage of him turning right here and
the newspaper
all
publishing
these people's cars
publishing
into a
place that
pile.
did a
While
hit
the
piece
SWAT
on him.
team hides around the corner of the porch. I feel like this is our next stop. I should knock on the door.
Yep.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
I had a quick question. I'm from Tennessee, and I'm kind of doing interviews with people who have heard about the Killdozer before.
Oh, okay.
And I was curious if you heard about it or like knew much.
I mean, yeah, I have heard about it.
Did you know that it like plowed right through all these cars right here?
Yeah, so that old building, that's the Sky High News building.
Yeah.
That building was torn down like completely.
Really? Okay.
Redone, yeah.
And were you here when that happened?
I was not here, no. It happened in 2004.
Yes, it was. I mean, people would barely remember that, especially
Just
kids.
plowed through all the cars right in front of your house, right here.
So-
he's like, yeah, I heard about that. All
He's
so we're
basically
outside
talking
Sky
to young
High
people
News. I'm
about
just
it,
gonna walk
which,
in
you
there
know
and
what?
Let them know that my Komatsu Bulldozer is going to be arriving to town in about an hour, and there could be a few different reactions to that, but hopefully they don't think I'm a terrorist.
How's it going?
Good, what's up?
We're YouTubers from Tennessee.
Okay.
And we're here doing a kind of a little documentary thing on the Killdozer. And I kind of have a little story for you guys if you're interested in it.
What do you mean by that?
So I bought the identical Bulldozer, and here in about 2 hours it's going to be going through town.
And you're
Okay.
filming that?
We are. I thought
Alright, this part I don't agree with. Because here's the thing, right? Like he said, I mean, I like the investigation part, but now it was like 2 hours out of the way. Like, you know, his friend says, you know, behind the camera that, you know what, this is 2 hours out of the way. We don't need to do this. But apparently for him, content is content. And let's see what happens. Let's see how these people react. Let's jab and poke the bear 20 years later.
nobody yet.
Can we give some people who might want to know a heads up so that nobody
Yeah.
is concerned?
Yeah, that's
okay.
really cool. It's not like, it doesn't have armor on it.
No,
See,
totally. I just
how
thought,
long before
given
you
the
can make
history.
light of a tragedy? Before you can laugh about it?
No, our former publisher who wrote the book that's sitting
Yeah.
right there was, and then our former publisher is married to the son.
Hold on, you
who
guys.
was
Here's the thing. I'm
sheriff.
just going to refill my tea before this train wreck. Okay. Okay, let's see this train wreck.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I see. Do you have any tips of anybody we could interview?
Probably Patrick Brower.
Damn, dude.
The writer himself
Patrick.
probably lives in town.
So he's the author of the book.
Oh,
There,
okay.
he's our former publisher.
Okay. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.
So none of them were here when it happened, but as soon as I told them my dozer was coming through here, they're like, do you mind if we let everybody know? So they're telling the cops. So
This is gonna be
they're
a
gonna
big
call the cops
ordeal.
right now and say that we're bringing a Komatsu Bulldozer through Granby.
Oh, no. Wait.
That's hilarious. He then went from
I don't agree with this.
down to independent propane here. I don't know why he shot all the propane tanks. I think he was just living it up. He brought a 50 cal and a revolver with him, and he opened fire with his 50 cal and all these propane
See?
tanks. So I want to see if the propane tanks are still here.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Independent propane tanks. I think he was just living it up. He brought a 50 cal. And
See, with all these guns, with everything, with his firepower, he could have hurt people. He could have definitely killed people, but he didn't. Alright, he was there to make a statement.
revolver with him, and he opened fire with his 50 cal and all these propane tanks. So I want to see if the propane tanks are still here.
Oh, there it is, right there.
Independent. It all looks so much smaller now. It's like everything grew up around it.
Right.
We gotta talk to him.
I was curious if there was anybody here that I could talk to about the Killdozer incident.
I don't even know if there's anyone here that was in the county at that time.
Really? Wow. All right. Well, thanks for your time.
Don't want to talk?
No, they're just like, nobody was here from that time. Like, nobody knows any, like...
Hold on, you guys. Let me just check on something. Killdozer incident. June 4, 2004. Because everyone was out, right? He didn't hurt anyone. It was a Friday. Because I've been trying to figure out how come, you know, there weren't any large crowds in that city hall. Where was everyone when this was happening? There was time to evacuate and the girl said there was time to evacuate, so it was a Friday.
Just new people.
They have no stories.
Just
That's
new people,
just
yeah.
such a...
There's no story. Everybody's really nice, I will say. We haven't encountered one rude person yet. So this is really cool, because there's like first...
Well, of course, he's an outsider doing interviews with a camera right behind him. They're going to be polite.
There's a big chip mark.
That is bent rebar. Piece of Killdozer concrete.
But apparently, they stop being polite when you're trying to move in.
So he came back up.
And you know what? When you're going up against the royal family.
Sitting there, trying to block him from getting out to destroy the rest of the town. So they're like, if we can stop him here, he can't get out. And he literally just rams it out of the way, like this giant.
Picks it up.
So then he came back out here on the main street, and I feel like at that point, because he's backtracking, I feel like he got everything that he wanted. But then he pulled up to this place, High Country Appliances. That was a hardware store, right?
Yep, it was Gamble's.
We're gonna pull in here, and we're gonna see if this hardware store still has a basement. This is where the dozer just
Oh.
sank in because there's a basement here, and he didn't know, so one track fell in, and he couldn't get out.
Oh,
That's why I'm bringing my
okay.
dozer here today, is I really want to try and see if it would get out.
It's actually decent, yeah.
That's how it would be. That's how it was stopped. There wasn't.
It's about 20 years old. My pillow.
So the right track. Hold on.
Those
Hold
are
up.
days I really want to try and see if it would get out.
It's a new building.
It's actually decent.
If this hardware store still has a basement.
Hold up.
This is where the dozer just sank in.
There we go. The right track fell into the basement. It couldn't support the floors. Couldn't support the weight, and that's how he got stuck.
Because there's a basement here and he didn't know, so one track fell in.
Okay. So the right side fell in, and it couldn't get out.
And he couldn't get out. That's why I'm bringing my dozer here today. Is I really want to try and see if it would get out.
It's a new building.
It's actually decent,
Okay.
The basement looks about 20 years old. My pillow's advertising where the Killdozer fell. It looked like identical. It's like the opposite of the whole situation.
It's turned into a micro
All right, there's no basement. Guys.
All right.
They filled it in.
It's solid ground.
The dozer tried coming along here and fell into the basement right here. And then he made it to like right here. That's crazy.
Yeah.
This is where it ended.
And nobody knows. Like, it's all
That's so
covered up.
interesting. Yeah, it's like kind of low key. Like they don't
Really?
even. That's just so crazy for a town to go through and not even.
Not mentioned at all.
Wait. There's barriers.
Oh, like someone's gonna do
They're
it
like,
again.
it's not happening again. There's no basement now. You would not fall in again. This guy in this white truck is code enforcement. He's exactly the type of person Marvin would have had beef with.
They just ruined a good man's life, a lot of people's lives, but that's their style.
We're YouTubers from Tennessee. We have a big YouTube channel. Okay,
Yeah,
did they make a call about us?
How big does your YouTube channel have to be before you can, go around and say, we have a big YouTube channel?
There's 3 cop cars here now.
It's like going around and saying, I'm a celebrity. And comedian Brad Williams says, if you have to go around saying you're a celebrity, you're not a celebrity.
Oh, interested in what's going on.
2 there, and one right beside us. Oh my gosh.
I bought a dozer up north, so we were filming a video and kind of interviewing people, just getting stories. So it's identical to the one that is the Killdozer.
And right now, he's announcing to everyone, please come
it's
out.
That before it had the armor.
But it's on a trailer.
Right. Yeah, we're not unloading.
Yeah.
Anything.
That was our primary concern.
This is the part that I don't agree with. He's literally telling everyone to please come out and check out this, piece of machine that almost destroyed your entire town. And I bought it just for content.
Right.
I had the understanding that you were going to drive up.
I find it enjoyable, but I don't agree with it.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so I was like, well, heavy equipment is allowed on the highway.
Right.
So I was like, as long as he's as far right over as he can be, I was like, he's not breaking any law.
You're allowed to drive heavy equipment on the roads here?
Within reason.
Okay.
I was raised here when Hemeyer did his bit. The grooves from his tracks lasted almost a decade. Granby PD wasn't even a thing back then.
Really?
It was just the sheriff's office.
Oh, okay.
Having grown up with that, he's a bad guy. But the older I get, I'm like, I see it from a libertarian perspective.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, see, that's the whole point. Even up until now, he's a bad guy. But now that the story's gone some track, has had some time to percolate, people are starting to actually understand. That's why right now we're talking about it, that we can actually understand what he went through. But of course, he's a bad guy, but we sort of understand now what he was going through.
I get it.
That's
I get it.
Stories and just seeing what people's thoughts are on it.
My father actually used to work with Hemeyer.
Wow.
They were welders together. He was working with the County Road and Bridge at the time, and they were the ones who had custody of the bulldozer after the fact. Well, as a kid, I got to go see it.
Go look at it.
It was impressive.
His dad was friends with Hemeyer. That's
insane.
It's like, I'm hearing so many different sides to everything. That's what we came here for. We have secured an interview with Sky High News, so we're gonna, I don't know, I've never had an interview before except for MSN, NBC, CBS.
That's a lot of interviews.
America's Got Talent.
You're on America's Got Talent?
Survivor, Gold Rush.
Those are TV shows.
Dog General.
That's a story.
Job interview. I have to tell these people now that I'm gonna plow the rest of their town down.
No.
I put $800,000 in this truck just today.
It's just not possible.
I wind the odometers up before I sell them.
You wind them up?
I don't agree with it, but to actually make this joke work, I mean, he already announced it, right? To just one day show up with Killdozer 2.0 in front of the town. That would have made it funny. Just show up out of nowhere one day. Killdozer 2.0 in the middle of town.
You're supposed to wind them down.
They're not worth more?
No.
Doing
well.
That was pretty good. Great interview. That's gonna
What
be
was that?
I see both sides. I really do.
And there it is. Killdozer 2.0. 2 hours out of the way. Actually, very good looking piece of machine.
Our bulldozer is going to pull up right in line with the old hardware store that it fell into. This is the first time since 2004 that this dozer has been in town. Right across from the shop where it fell into the basement. That's crazy.
Right in front of the store.
Hey, but you're keeping it on the truck, right?
Guys, let's undo these chains.
No, it was a 55A. Here's
Oh!
the book. You need to read this before you make any real strong conclusions about how Marvel's Pixar.
Well, we didn't make any conclusions yet. That's what we're here for.
Cool. Call me.
See, even the editor is saying, well, he's a news editor. He knows how news works. He knows how it's supposed to be written. And that's why he said, please read this before you make any conclusions of how he was picked on.
The author of the book.
Okay.
I was an associate producer on Tread, the movie.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So you guys need to call me.
We'll do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, there's a mouse. There's a mouse, Kelly. What?
Mars back, and he's a mouse.
The town is like, no, not again. I can't do this again. That was a lot of fun. We're gonna ship this out to the sea now and unload it for a special project we have coming up. We have to do landscaping for an elderly woman. We're turning her house into mulch.
Oh.
The author of the Killdozer book came up and gave me a copy right before we pulled out, which is really cool.
He said that it was a D355A, but
55A
is the same. This is an A. It just doesn't have the decal.
Right. I could see both sides after this. There's a lot of nice people in this town. I could also see how someone could get really f***ed over by the government. Someone could be crazy, and someone could also sound crazy but have really base claims.
Right.
Anyways, interpret it how you want. Everybody here seems to be nice people now, though. And they say that the town has changed a lot since then. Did it change because of him? Maybe. Sometimes reasonable men must do unreasonable things. Do you guys want a truck?
Yep.
I'd love a truck. I'm giving
And
away
that's
this
a story.
truck. You don't want to drive it 60 hours back home, so if you guys want it. It drives perfectly fine. It's a great truck. I bought this today just for this. I'm gonna grab my shit out and you guys can take this truck. Literally.
Okay,
You want it?
he's actually giving away a truck. My goal in this video was to personally step foot into the town where this incident occurred. Oh, okay. Wait, I wasn't done. Hold on, I wasn't done. Almost every publication I have found online about the Killdozer incident is biased against Marvin or written by people that are said to have wronged him. Well, like I said, you guys, that's why, that's why what he did was bad, because before you go out for the vengeance, first dig 2 graves, and you can't defend yourselves. You can't defend yourself afterwards. He took the law into his own hands, which was bad. But you know what? 20 years later, maybe we should, take a second look into it. That maybe, just maybe, he definitely was wronged. And the only people left to tell his stories are those that supposedly, wronged him, or people that supposedly offended him. End of the day, only you can form your own opinions in the town of Granby. Thank you for watching, guys. Now you all know the drill. Please like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. It would help me out greatly with the YouTube algo. Now, if you guys want me to check out other stories, please let me know in the comments. We upload on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, and we go live on Twitch. Please check us out at 8 p.m. every Wednesday and Sunday Eastern Standard. Now, class dismissed.